kind of get rocking and rolling. How many of you guys paid attention to the live video I did in the Facebook group and have an idea of what the heck I'm going to talk about today? Perfect. None of you. It's why I do live videos every single day in that group, because nobody pays attention to it, and I love it. Terry, I know you had to have at least paid attention. You always have my back. Nope. Yep. Left me hanging again. Thanks. Anyway, since you didn't pay attention to the Facebook group, we'll continue posting in there. Maybe one day you pick up a gem or two that's in there by paying attention. Mickey, thank you for laughing. At least I got one out of that one. But I was talking about on the video.
Watch.
What's that?
I said we always watch, not just like now. We might watch it after this call.
Well, that's really good. You know, when I do the video at 10 in the morning about the call that's happening later today, and then you watch it on Wednesday, it's always works out good to get the information after the information, right? So with that being said, on the video, I was talking about how the last few weeks, Roger's been doing a kick-ass job, really talking a lot of technical, what I call tactics. When we look at marketing really comprises of kind of two components. There's the tactical elements. And then if you remember from a presentation that I did during the Baltimore workshop, there's what we call marketing campaigns. Tactics make up the campaign, right? So the last few weeks, Roger's been really breaking down a lot of the key components at a tactical level. How's the site structured, the silos, how do these things tie together? How do you properly structure a blog? How do you leverage the keyword elements, right? All these kind of components to it. That's all very tactical aspects. Now we're going to take a shift here, and over the next couple of weeks, and I talked a little bit about it in the live. I don't know how many weeks this thing's going to go on. It's really going to come down to what you guys are eating up, what you want more of, where we want to go with this. I could probably take us all the way to the beginning of the year on this topic. But we're going to start to really break down what a true marketing campaign looks like and how to build out campaigns and how to think more from a campaign model, now understanding some of the tactical elements behind it, right? And I'm going to go heavy on the real estate side today because a lot of you guys are on real estate that are on the call, but it doesn't matter. Take out industry, insert new industry. Strategy is still the exact same. But I had a really good call actually with Lorraine earlier today. So there is going to be a component. I'm going to stop sharing some screens, and I am going to put Lorraine on a hot seat. I gave her the warning during our call today. I think she had a pretty big breakthrough. Maybe she'll share about that when I get her the chance. But I warned her, you're kind of going on the hot seat because of this, because it actually worked out really well on it. But to get started, let me go ahead and share the screen, and we're going to draw some stuff out here. And I want to kick us off by really getting this kind of nailed down. And I want you guys to think of a 60-day plan. 60-day marketing plan. Let me move some stuff out of the way so I can actually write on this a little easier for you. Now, what do I mean by the 60-day plan? Well, first off, the first 30 days is really your foundation. A lot of the foundation's already done for you when we start to look from a campaign kind of component or a campaign strategy. A lot of this comes down to digital, right? What we have online, what's available to us. What are some of the things that Roger, the team, everybody over here, what have we built out for you? That's one element of the foundation. However, there's a lot more. There's a lot more to this foundational plan that has to get put into place. We're going to talk about that here in a second. From there, the second stage of this whole thing really comes down to a fun word that a lot of us have a really, really easy time of doing, and that is our patience. And let's hope I don't spell this wrong, like I always do. Our patience on the plan. What the heck do I mean by our patience with the plan? We're going to start to put a foundation in place. Campaigns take planning. It's not just, oh, I'm going to start calling a bunch of people today. That's one tactical element of the plan. Why do we have to have patience on it? It's because the whole campaign takes time to get momentum. I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Roger and I had one of the best months that we've ever had here at TRC in October. And I kept getting asked, like, why do you think you guys had such a great month? What do you think delivered on that? What did you make? What did you change? What did you do different? And at the end of the day, Roger and I really didn't do anything different. We just consistently been doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. And what happened was our patience started to pay off because the campaign, the plan, the strategy, it all started to come together. And I think he talked about it. I don't think it was on this call, but we were on a call with a potential client. And he said, you know, that flywheel is so heavy to get moving until you get it moving. I always think of your campaign and your plan. How many of you guys have ever watched the show Wheel of Fortune? Or not Wheel of Fortune, The Price is Right, with the big wheel that they spin. Right? You watch some tiny individual go over there and try to spin that thing, and it's hard for them to get that thing spinning. But I bet if they let them, once they spun it once, if they let them keep trying to spin it faster and faster, it would get going a lot quicker because of the momentum behind it. Your marketing campaign is the same thing. It's going to be slow. It's going to feel heavy and burdensome and stressful on the onset. And that's because we've got to get a lot of this laid in place so that it can pick up some momentum. And then the third thing that I want you to think about is how can you stack your efforts? Now, Roger talked last week really on a digital stack, how to stack everything from GMB posts to YouTube videos to the blog to key silo pages of your website and how to interlink all this stuff and really stack it. And from a digital standpoint, why that's important and what that does. In all forms of our marketing campaign, we want to stack all of this stuff because the more of our efforts that we can stack, the better our results are going to end up being. Is this making sense so far? Give me a quick little thumbs up. I can see everybody right now, so little thumbs up. Cool. So then with that, let's go on kind of a little journey here. And really, we're going to divide this into 3 phases, 3 simple phases to get this going. And our first phase right here really is going to comprise of just a handful of items. Most of the stuff's already been done for us. And the first thing is your actual site. Now, what do I mean by getting the site set up and the foundation? Roger and the team's already done about 99.9% of this out of the gate for you guys. You're all on this call. You're all one of our clients. That means you all have a core site with us. We've built the core foundation of it. But there is one key element to the website that Roger, no matter how good he is, no matter how much we joke that he's the Googlenator, pays attention to all the stuff, reads the Google code, all that kind of crap. No matter how good he and the team is behind all of this, there's one key aspect of your site that we cannot do for you. And who thinks they know what element I'm talking about or what area of the website I'm talking about here?
Forcing people to it, directing people to it, traffic.
No, we can actually do that, right? That's what some of our accelerator dominator packages are all about, is driving the traffic. So we could do that for you. What's something we cannot do?
You can't be us.
Who said it? Say it again.
You can't be us.
Lorraine's right on. I can't be you. I like to think I'm a pretty cool guy, but Lorraine is definitely a little more cool than I am. I can't be as cool as Lorraine the way that Lorraine can be, right? So if we can't be you, what is the key component of the website that's going to become a crucial aspect to an overarching campaign that we can't focus on that you need to do?
Maybe like the insight of the business,
Go a little deeper, Jaime.
like the values, the vision.
These are pieces of it, absolutely. Where does a lot of this stuff reside on the website?
About us.
There it is. Your about section of the site. Your about section of the site is the area of most importance for you guys to be kind of really dialing in. Why? Go back a couple weeks ago, go back to Baltimore. What did I say? Who is the brand? Everybody's pointing. Nobody wants to say it. You're the brand, right? At the end of the day, you are the brand. People want to do business, especially in a service style business. People do business with people. They don't do business with companies. There's a reason they select the company, and that company typically has core values, a mission, people involved in that business that they resonate with. So what are some of the things on our site under the about section that we want to put a lot of our time, energy, and effort into? It's stuff like our credibility. What credibility do you have in this business and industry? Something else that you should be thinking about on there is your USP, your unique selling proposition. And we're going to come back to this one here in a second. These two components, credibility and USP, are what really make up who the brand is, right? When I look at Mickey and Ack and Dev is not just Ack and Dev. It is Mickey, Israel. We've got this fun little element of a contractor being involved in it, right? With Wilson. We've got Aisa. We've got Kendrick. And then we've got all the kids and the family and all these kind of components that really make up who the brand is. You know, I look at somebody like Jordan and Jacob up in Charleston, West Virginia. Why is it that they're kind of getting this flock of attention? Why is it that people are buying in to them? Well, it's them. It's the two boys. They're local, right? They're born and raised in these areas, or they know it. They're grown up there. People connect more with them, not building Appalachia. It's because they've got a connection personally, right? They see that in them. So I actually have a couple sites that I pulled up that I'm going to use these as some examples of what do I mean by USP and really building out the kind of core brand of on that about us. I'm going to share this here, and then we're going to kind of go to some questions for a little bit. We're going to start with Anchored Homes. And all I'm looking at is the About Us pages. I pulled these ones up because I really like what each one of them have done. Each one of them has done something slightly different in here, but something JP's done really, really well that helps build out this About Us, who is Anchored Homes. Starts with some very unique photos, number one, but where my eye immediately went to was right here. Some very specific imagery that kind of tells the story, right? We all know that these are kind of staple right off of there, but this one right here, my eye gravitates towards it. We all know JP's a retired military guy. Anchored Homes, this is kind of who Anchored Homes is. It's a military veteran run business, right? With a veteran owner to it. Bringing this in, that's going to connect very well. It's going to resonate with anybody locally or in the areas that he's doing business in that is either very patriotic or is also a veteran and chooses or wants to do business with veteran-owned companies. That's a piece of his actual USP, which we're going to come back to talking about that here in a second. The next thing as I started to scroll through that really kind of stood out to me was, and I think, Jaime, this is exactly what you were just talking about, is right here. Their core values. This is the core value that Anchored Homes kind of lives by, or this is what they kind of believe in and kind of operate around. And then as I continued to scroll around, I noticed we get down into this section and talk about putting a face and a name to the brand and really bringing this together. As we said, you are your brand. We've got little bios of individuals that are kind of on, call it the exec team, the leadership team, so to say, of this operation. You got JP himself, you got Phil, you got Tracy, right? Really kind of bringing this along. How many of you guys have ever been on a website, you go to the About Us page, try to learn a little bit more about the brand or about the company and about what it is, and it's like one paragraph. And you're like, well, that was really helpful. In an industry where people-to-people connection is huge, they're about to make a huge decision and sell off a home, or maybe use them for purchasing a new home of some sort or something like that. That connection, person-to-person connection, really starts to come together here. The next one I'm going to use is Mickey and Ack and Dev. Now, not near as much done to the About Us page as someone like JP has done, yet it's still like put a hard stamp on who is this brand the second you land on this page, starting with the unique image right here in the header of the page. If you're in and around the Baltimore area and you saw that, there's no doubting that this is a Baltimore-based business, right? That waterfront kind of view. Then as we scroll down, again, unique imagery of homes that are typical to that area, but what smacks you right in the face? I feel like Mickey's yelling at me. I feel like she's like telling me to stop for a second and hit play. Right, a clickable thumbnail right here. I'm like, what the heck does this lady have to say? She's like jumping out of her seat, waiting for me to give her the chance. And if you've ever watched this video really tells the story of who Akin Developers is. Who is this brand Akin Developers, and who makes up of it, and what is it about them, and seeing them and a face and a name and all of this stuff to it, right? Now they've got a list of some specialties in there, but really, this is what's driving it. So it could be as simple as that. JP obviously did a little bit more. Still the same thing, right? The other one that I'm going to show is Liz and Marie. And what I love here is they kind of treated it more like a story. Right? It even starts off with like the story of Liz and Marie. So now me as the individual landing here, trying to figure out who is this Liz and Marie chick that keeps reaching out to me. I go to their website, I click on the About Us. I want to know a little bit more about them. I kind of get brought into this story, and I'm not going to read through, but you kind of scroll through and you start to learn a little bit more about them. And then it kind of like on the JP's and Anchored Home site, we've got this bio of who is Liz, right? And a lot of information around this part here. Whoops. And then same thing with Marie. And Liz and Marie, they've shared this a number of times, but they've had individuals say like, man, I really connected with Marie and the fact that she's, you know, very active in the church and sings and all this kind of stuff. That's the connection, right? That can't be replicated. No competitor can copy that. That is building this brand element, right? And then the final one I'm going to show, because this one was like about as easy as it gets, yet it brings a strong message. And that is actually Jordan with Building Appalachia, Jordan and Jacob, who actually Jacob's on the call too. Notice they've got a decent little write-up in here, but really when you scroll the page, the only thing that's there is this photo. But this photo in what's probably one of their finished products of the two of them. And if you know the story of them, and if you read through a little bit, or if you got to know them, you kind of know Leah's role in the process and where that kind of fits in. But you see this, it's a young, vibrant, happy business, right? So if I'm looking for more of that young crowd, or if my audience is, why do you guys do a ton of rentals? I bet a lot of your tenants probably connect just at this level. Why? Because they're young, youthful. They're not the crusty old landlord that they're used to renting homes from, right? Jordan's not this guy that's going to show up with a broom and a shovel and make me feel like I'm going to get buried in the backyard, you know, with one tooth. This is a modern country company. It's kind of the feel I get when I look at that. So I'm going to stop there for a second. I'm going to kind of open up to some questions around this phase right here. This would be in a 60-day game plan. This is like the first 30 days. We're really focusing on, we want to get all this element ready to go. Anybody got any thoughts, questions, anything that's popping in your mind right now? All good?
I like how JP's got the, individual team members. That's something that's really cool. I think we'll go ahead and add that to ours as well. Just got to get our little bios written up and take a picture. How hard is that? It's easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's super easy to get done, but it brings a big impact, right? And some of you guys, especially like I look at Mickey's operation with Akin and this unique kind of element with Wilson, the contractor, being so involved from a company level, right? Some of you guys are the same way. You've got the way your teams are structured. You've got some individuals that don't normally maybe are part that deep into it, but it would be good to kind of highlight, because as I shift into the final part of this first 30 days, the USP, that's going to become a component of it. Anybody else got any thoughts, questions, clarity, anything?
Well, but with
That-
that being, I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
No, go
Liz.
ahead, Liz.
Well, with like Mickey's video, should we put a quick little video on there too?
Absolutely. I mean, Roger and I are always going to answer yes to video,
Okay,
simply because it's just another check in the box, right? From an SEO checklist standpoint. But video is the leader right now.
yeah,
Video is leading the way in the marketing space. So anytime you can do video for any component, it's going to give you a better return.
yeah, we'll get it, then get one on there.
Mickey, did you have something?
I have.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, for the video, you do you, right? You don't portray someone else, because it's actually easier just to be you. And then when people connect with you, the conversation is on another level. Like, they know I'm a mom from the get-go. Like, they know that this is what I do mostly. And so it's just like the connection. I feel like the connection most of the time, it's just at a very personal level when we talk with people.
Great point. Lorraine?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, because, for those who are not part of a team, because I mean, I noticed that all of the examples were groups or teams. What are some suggestions for the me, myself, and I people on who have a business? I mean, should you just, I guess it could be
All
a
the same.
video or,
All of
Yeah.
the same. Photo bio of you, video of you. All of it works. At the end of the
But
day,
it should be
it's not
more-
about how big's the team, how many team members do you have, all that kind of stuff. It should, if you have a team, right, go look at Top Results website. We have a whole section in there where there's Roger, there's myself, there's Itzel, there's Matt, right? We've got a large team. Therefore, we're showcasing everybody because we have those people. But if it was just me, I would do the same thing. Go look at ShawnTiberio.com. It's just my website. It's just me. But that bio section really explains what my background is and who is Shawn at the end of the day, and like really who makes up the brand, right?
Yeah, I was just looking on my site and I realized that the About Us is about the company, but there's nothing on there about me or my name or anything. So I'll have to work on that.
Because at the end of the day, Roger's great, but Roger doesn't know everybody's story.
Right. No, and it wasn't even something that I thought about before of, oh yeah, I should put all of my whatever on there. It was just more so about the business, really, but the personalized part, I think, will help.
I
Absolutely.
have a question, Shawn. I wanted to ask on this About Me or About Us or whatever. That's a great page and great to think about, start thinking about personal things that I can put on there. Being a new investor, is that anything you would want to share with anyone, or do you want to fake it until you make it? I mean, would I talk about my having owned restaurants before or being a CPA before, anything like that?
Hold that thought, because we're going to shift
Okay.
into the USP, right? And
Okay.
that's going to come into even something as simple as like Mickey being a mom can really come in to that. So hold that thought, and if you still need more clarity on it after this next part, we'll dive deeper into it. Okay.
Right.
All right. So then the final part of this kind of like first phase around this is going to be right here. And that is on the USP. Now, I've talked a lot about this in the past. I'm curious what we remember, but who can tell me what is a USP? What is this concept of unique selling proposition? You don't have to say the actual definition, just in your own words. What is USP?
How do you stand out from everybody else?
Great example. What else? Who else has got something? I know you guys got it. I'll start calling on folks.
Well, is it part of your elevator pitch? Like what you do?
It absolutely
what
could
we
be part of the elevator.
specialize in. I mean, you know, it's what we do and who we are.
Absolutely could be part of the pitch. Sophia.
I felt and knew you were going to choose me. I guess it's just what you bring to the table. What's unique about you and your company. Why should I choose you as the consumer?
Yep. Bud, what would you say?
I use my USP is 4 things. Who am I? What do I do? What's in it for you? And then a call to action.
Okay. Eric, thoughts? I'm just sporadically picking. I'm like playing tic-tac-toe with my own people.
I think most of it's already been said. I mean, it's what's unique about you. Why do they want to buy from you? And how do you connect? What's that connection? The unique connection between you and the seller.
Absolutely. Who can give me an example of a USP? Doesn't have to be your own. Maybe it's one that you've actually heard out there.
I have an example. I was dealing with a seller not too long ago, and they had a bunch of offers on their house and everything, but one of the things that stood out was that one of the buyers was a veteran. And because the seller was also a veteran, they're like, you know what? I don't care about anything else. I want to sell to that guy because he's a veteran.
Absolutely. Veteran based, right? Veteran owned. We use it like crazy. Veteran and military dependent, because we've got both sides of that. Roger being the dependent, me being the veteran. So we're a veteran / military dependent owned and operated company. That's an example of a USP. What's some others? There's one that's sticking to mind because I've been getting slammed with their TV commercials the last couple of days. Who's seen the newest Domino's commercial?
Is it the one about the rewards they're giving the customers?
Yeah. What is it that they're saying?
They're saying freebies. Oh my God. I can't think of it right now.
No, you're right. They're giving away freebies because most companies charge fees. So we're giving away frees.
There you go. That
This
was
is
it.
their
That's
little
perfect.
unique selling piece right now. Domino's is constantly changing their USP. It's why I love paying attention to them, because they're a great example from a marketing standpoint. Back in the day, it used to be hot to your door in 30 minutes or less, or it's free. That was their unique piece. What made them different than every other pizza company? They'll get it to your door in 30 minutes or you get it for free, right? Now they're saying, hey, all these other places are upcharging like crazy. You want to add this to your pizza, we're going to charge you more. You want to do this, we're going to charge you more. So what's Domino's doing? We're just giving away a bunch of random frees instead of fees. That's a unique piece. Why would I want to order from Domino's? I want to see what I'm going to get for free versus what I'd have to pay for, right? Now that's a silly USP, but it catches, right? So for you guys in and around your business, I'm gonna challenge you a little bit to think. And Lorraine, I don't want to go too deep into what we talked about today, but like this was a big kind of breakthrough for a second for you. What's the unique aspect that you have in your business that kind of came together today?
Well, it was basically the fact that I can help people make money passively off of real estate without actually having to own property. And so it's just having that understanding of knowing that the people that I need to get in front of, and then explaining, or not explaining, but kind of projecting to them what's in it for them, really, in 30 seconds or less, I guess.
What was the other part? It's this other business that you have.
Oh, right. And then tying it in to the tax business that I'm starting. So it's like, okay, I can help you with this side of real estate, but then on top of it, I can help you kind of lower your tax liability, or show you what it can mean for you for tax wise at the same time.
Those of you that are in the real estate space, there's a lot of other individuals in real estate that claim they do notes. Could we agree with that? Yes. Quick little thumbs up. But how many of them have this unique structure that Lorraine has, where she also does basically tax preparation, and she's really focused on the real estate side of tax preparation for real estate professionals. So not only can she help you with this other fun way of what we came up with, this cool little tagline, like make the rich richer kind of thing, or put money in your bank account from properties you don't even own. But I can also, right, there's this unique thing is I pay attention from a tax liability standpoint. That's a unique element to working with somebody like Lorraine. If you're of that caliber and you're ready to do some more passive investment, and you're also paying attention to the tax burdens that brings, that could be the reason you swing and want to work with somebody like Lorraine, right? The other one that I'm going to bring out, and it's something stupid simple, yet Lorraine was even hesitant. And I say that I'm not picking on her, but I hear this a lot of businesses. I don't care what industry. I'm going to show it's a real estate example, but I don't care what your industry is. Jaime's in the sprinkler and fire alarm and fire monitoring kind of business. It's the same there, right? Jordan's in the credit business as well, helping people rebuild credit. But everybody's so afraid of this one thing, and that is your USP could just be your process. It doesn't have to be earth-shattering. It could just be the way you conduct business. And I'm going to use Open Door as an example, because those of you that are real estate, you already know Open Door is no different than any other real estate investor out there. They give people cash offers for their homes, and they buy up a bunch of houses and they liquidate them off, just like any other wholesaler, right? But what makes Open Door very unique is the fact of the way they handled their process. Now, you guys have a step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, whatever on most of your guys' site. A lot of you guys have it, right? But maybe redefining the way you do business, and it really doesn't even have to be redefined. I was on a mastermind call earlier today, and somebody said, literally, all you got to do is say it differently, and it becomes a different process. Notice Open Door right here. They're saying, hey, get an offer in minutes. Most of us say get a fast cash offer. They're basically just saying it, get it in minutes. This step 2, do a video walkthrough. They're basically telling the person you're going to do a walkthrough and send us a video of this. And then step 3, you're going to close and move stress-free, right? At the end of the day, is that any different than what any of you guys that are real estate on this call do? Not really. You give offers, you look at homes, and you help people move stress-free. Your process is the same, but for some reason, just the way it's written, does it sound different? Does it sound unique? Absolutely. Which makes it a unique element, right? Now, they do a really good job of bringing in credibility into this process, which was another component of this that I said, which Shannon, this goes back to what you were saying. So what? You're new to the industry. You have experience that correlates. You have experience that is similar. So what? You managed a team of 5 at another company in a different industry. You have skills and something unique about the way that you process things from all of that, right? I always joke, Mickey being a mom and the way that she balances homeschooling and being a business owner and all the other stuff that she does, that's a unique component to who Mickey is as the businesswoman. That's a unique element to Akin. and the way that Akin develops, because guess what? It's not just with Mickey, it's with the whole company and a whole way that the company, she lives in a completely different state now than half the business and where it's all doing stuff at. But the time management, the managerial skills, right? These are the components that need to go into what makes you different. And the easiest way, if I can like drive this home anymore, the easiest way to come up with what your USP is think about what is the one thing that nobody else can say about you. You are the brand. You know, I look at Bud right now, and it's just because you're dead smack in the middle of my screen. And what does Bud have behind him? A shadow box with military ribbons and pins and everything else. Well, guess what? Even though Bud and I both are from the military, there's something still unique about Bud and I. First off, two totally different branches, two different type of timeframes that we were probably in, two different types of job descriptions and job billets that we worked in. What I saw during Iraq and Afghanistan, maybe he didn't see, right? So even though we're both military, is there something unique about the two of us that I can say that he can't, and he can say that I can't? Absolutely. So the biggest point I want you to take from this is in this first phase, it's about getting that foundation together, but it's also about not overthinking. Don't overthink this one right here. But you want to get something solid in place that is who you are as a brand and really build out that about us section. Once you have that, now we can kind of shift to phase number 2. And phase number 2, a lot of it's being done. Those of you that are in our like Content Pro, Accelerator, our old Content Pro, and then Accelerator, Dominator packages. And that is out of the gate, it's your SEO. And it really comes down to the keywords. And this is where Roger, the team, and a lot of the stuff, the tactical element of this. But you want to make sure that you are building marketing around the keywords for your business. This kind of goes back to what I said before on stacking your efforts. We don't want all these keywords floating around on our website and in our blogs, but then we're over here marketing a completely different service, talking about something completely different because we're really not getting any benefit out of either one of them, right? Number 2 behind that, I'm gonna bring this up now, and then I want to do a whole, it's probably going to be next week on it. Really easy places to generate leads. And I think there's one that's being overlooked like crazy because it still hangs out there. It's still pretty much a free platform. It still gets billions. I looked it up earlier today. They get billions of hits a day to this website. Can anybody guess it before I even write it down? We used to kill it using this. And I don't know why, especially in the real estate space, I don't know why people got away from it.
Craigslist?
LinkedIn.
Nope, not LinkedIn.
But Craigslist.
There it is. Good old.
That's what I said.
I heard somebody say LinkedIn over top of you.
Oh.
Good old Craigslist. I'm sure Roger can talk a little bit about from a citation standpoint, or just even mentions out there and what links coming back off of that can do. But from an easy to like digest place of getting leads, not even posting on there, just leveraging it from a surfing standpoint. When I say surfing, like how to use it to scrape opportunities and find opportunities, I think it's a very overlooked platform. And I know some of you are sitting there going, I tried that. And I bet you didn't try it at the level that we used to do it, because we made a killing in our real estate business leveraging it. And if I were to go start a new business today and be active in it, it's the first thing that I would be doing off my website to start finding opportunity and stirring up noise. So I am going to come back to this probably next week. I'll do kind of a deeper breakdown of how we can do it. But as we get into this second phase, this is where we're going to go. We're going to get into this one. The other one that I'm going to put on here, and it's ones that I've done some training in the past. Some people have done some good stuff with it. Facebook groups. Facebook groups is another amazing location to stir up opportunity, to stir up noise. We're going to come back to this one as well. And then as we roll into the third phase behind this, this is where we start getting into stuff like our CRM and mainly focusing on something known as database. Yes, database reactivation. Some of you have been in the game long enough. You probably have a database that's worth putting some time into right now. Others of you need a couple of these phases and some things to do to start building a database to actually reactivate around it. But CRM, database reactivation, is a great way to also start drumming up some opportunities, start stirring up some stuff. And then if you really want to start to kind of amplify this piece, it comes down to SEO, but more on the retarget aspect. Enhancing our SEO power, but more from a retarget standpoint. We can't jump right into retargeting. We've got to build up traffic on the site before there's even anybody to retarget, right? But if we focus on over here in phase one, out of the gate, really build this part up, then as we get into phases 2 and 3, where do you think we're going to push a lot of this noise to? I'll sit in awkward silence. Somebody's going to guess it.
Well, we're going to become known as experts in there.
Where are you going to push this traffic to? Where are you going to push the SEO?
Website.
The website.
Your website.
100%. Where are these Craigslist assets going to go? Where are these Facebook groups? The strategy behind it, where's all this going to go?
Your website.
Website.
To the website, which is why this right here becomes so important. Roger and I hear this a lot, and I get good traffic, or you guys are getting me really good traffic, but I'm not getting any leads out of it. And then we look into it and it's like, all right, well, SEO is doing its job. It's getting traffic to the site. Other stuff that you're doing is doing its job. It's getting traffic to the website. So where's the problem? And the problem lies on the conversion element. And a lot of times when we look at the brands that kind of mention this to us, it's this right here. There really is no connection. There really is nothing different or unique or conversion friendly, right? That makes somebody want to go the next step with that brand. They're left still going, well, it's the same thing everybody else is saying in this space. And when somebody's confused, put yourself in their shoe for a second. When they're confused, what are they going to do? Make a decision or go look for more clarity? Going to look for more clarity.
More clarity. Yeah.
Straight up, right? I'm still confused on something. I'm going to keep doing research until I figure it out. Why do some of you guys keep showing up every week to these calls? Because you're still trying to gain more knowledge and still try to figure it out even better and better and better. If you were all experts in it, you wouldn't be here. You'd be teaching it. Your prospects are the same way. If they're left confused because they can't find a way to connect, they can't find that next layer, But this goes to like what Lorraine and I were talking about today. We can put the cart in front of the horse very easily here because we get worried about the conversion before we even have the audience. So with that, I'm gonna again stop for a second. Anybody got any thoughts, questions, want any clarity on this? If not, I'm gonna bring Lorraine into the hot seat here for a quick second and just let her share a little of the aha that she had around this topic. Nothing. We're all perfect. We know exactly what we're going to go work on the next couple weeks. I know what happens. You guys go work tomorrow, and then it's like it's what I talked about a couple weeks ago. Oh, what the heck did Shawn say?
Well, I can say from like what you were talking about just a few minutes ago, using Open Door as the example and the unique selling proposition with the new direction, not direction, but with the new ebook and book that Maria and I are writing, it's like, how can we just, I mean, right out from the gate, show people that becoming the, you know, I'm not thinking of the right word right now, but being seller financed and doing that and just putting it straight out there in a 3-step thing instead of this, we'll buy your house, like give them the unique thing that we'll do different that still puts money in their pocket in a different way. So come straight out of the gate with that and come up with a 3-step thing or something that just shows them right away what our different unique selling proposition is right there. And so when you were talking about that, it just totally made me change, like, oh my gosh, what can that be to show them, like, you know, I've been having these conversations with people, you know, for the last couple of weeks. And then I say, we can do, then it comes to this whole, what does that mean? Well, if we can do it right out of the gate unique, then hopefully we can get them to at least say, what does that mean? And then learn about it before they just shut it down and say, oh, I don't want to do that. And realize the benefit for them, because it's a huge benefit. They don't get that. I can buy your house at $200,000 and you're going to get 200,000 plus instead of $200,000 minus all these other fees and expenses on there. So anyway, it changed that direction for me.
Absolutely. Anybody else? Okay, one thing that we are going to shift next week, I am going to spend some time talking a little bit about, I think I've talked about this in the past, if you remember the analogy, the red ocean, the blue ocean, but we want to be in the purple ocean, right? This was a big like light bulb moment, I think, for Lorraine earlier today. She's been playing in the blue ocean, and she really needed to be more in the purple ocean. She needed a little bit of the blue, but more of the red mixed in there. So Lorraine, why don't you share just briefly, just on that kind of like component of it, what was the big thing that stuck with you, and why this piece right here, this foundational element, is the key?
Yeah, so for me, I've been feeling for a while like, you know, you've talked about making noise and making sure that even if you're in a organizational or building phase, that you should still keep moving, still put content out there. And I was struggling with what kind of content, like what am I supposed to be doing to get in front of the people that I need to get in front of? And a lot of it was, I was making noise, I was building awareness, but I was getting in front of the people that weren't my ideal avatar. And so having the understanding, like, okay, the message is there, you're doing most of what you need to do, but you're just saying it to the wrong people, or saying it to people who aren't ready to make the move that you need to make right now. And so that was a big thing for me, because initially it was just, okay, I just need people to call. Like I just need the awareness, I need the activity, I need the needle to move. So now the needle has moved, but now I need to move it to the people who I'm actually going to do business with sooner rather than later. So I think that was the biggest thing for me. And I mean, and now sitting back and reflecting on it, it is a process to understand, like, okay, what is it that you are offering and how is it going to benefit whoever it is you're trying to market to? So it takes a while and it's a journey, but I'm glad through the work and the constant analysis and review and reflection that I'm here now.
Big thing was when I asked the question, who?
Mhm.
All right. And what it ended up coming back to was the USP. What makes her unique was what also shed light into who she should be serving. There's no secret here. You guys know she does notes. She buys and sells notes. She joint ventures with people on notes. But as we got talking, she kept saying, everybody I talk to, they can't part ways with $20,000 right now. They're too new into their journey. They need that $20,000 to go back into their business. They're not ready to put that money into a passive income. And I asked the question, so is that really the right person to be talking to? The brand new individual trying to get into notes with only 20 grand in their bank account? Or is the right individual the more seasoned person who's been around the block a time or two, has some money stashed up, has done enough transactions, business is sitting pretty well, and now they're hitting the next phase, which is the unique element that she has, and that is, holy crap, I'm making money and I don't know what to do to stop the tax side of it. Bing, 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 right? Her audience is actually that more seasoned individual, and not necessarily seasoned real estate individual. It's a number of things. We used Deanna, my girlfriend, as the example on our call. 3 years from retirement. Great year in sales this year. It's going to have a really good commissions check. What does that mean for a corporate individual? More tax. And she's smart enough to know that that's going to be a problem. And what do I need to do now? And she's looking at real estate and looking at other avenues to dump that money into, to shield it, to protect it, right? Well, that's the audience. But nobody connecting with Lorraine would ever know that if you go to her About Us page. If you look at Melanin Homes as a brand, why? Because none of this was laid out. So it becomes really hard for the person who needs the help to look at the brand and say, that's the person to help me. That's the company to help me. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So think about, in your own business, who is it that you're really trying to serve? And I don't know, Lorraine, we probably went for like 20 minutes of me making you peel the onion, peel the onion, peel the onion, peel the onion before we got to that point. So some of you guys that just go first answer out of your mouth, I promise you that's still too surface. Keep asking yourself, define that, define this. What do I mean by this? I think I made Lorraine define the word money like 5 times before we finally got to the fact that 20,000. I need people that have at least 20,000 ready to invest, that they need to move. That wasn't just a random number. So with that, Roger, real quick, I'm going to kick it over to you to see if there's anything you want to add on any of this. If not, I'm going to open it up and see if anybody's got questions or anything for anybody.
Yeah, I don't want to get too deep into it and kind of take people in different directions, but I mean that I think it's you pretty much nailed it, right? In regards to, we talk a lot about brand, and I talk a lot about how kind of amplifying the brand signals on Google and getting your rankings up. And the About page, I mean, that was a huge one. Shawn and I kind of talked about kind of getting into this series that is launching now, how important that is, because that About page can then, that's why I want to let you guys kind of get to work, kind of figure it out what that means and not give you too much guidance, because we don't want to kind of push you in a certain direction. We want you to basically put it in what represents your brand, because from there, then I'll come in and see what the opportunities are, and maybe we'll create a training around there, how we can link out to other assets, right? How we can take advantage of that. But where we struggle, to Shawn's point, is getting that uniqueness out of you guys, right? Because it's hard. It's you kind of don't know what it is. You're trying to kind of do a lot of these technical things that I talk about, or maybe very strategic things that we're talking about that are too general, right? So right now, I think we're going back to 101 and really kind of seeing what our business is, what it represents. And once we have that About page really dialed in, I think there'd be some more value that I can bring to the table. But I think we did a great job on today's kind of lesson. And then if we can nail that down as a team here, everybody on this call, then I can come in and really kind of give you some guidance on how to leverage that for your SEO.
I wouldn't stop at the About Us page. The About Us page is the key component, right? That's where a lot of this needs to reside. But I would also sit down and look at every single page of your website. And if there is a stock photo, it needs to be replaced. It needs to be replaced with something of you, something of your brand, your homes, your area, your family, you, something that represents who that is, right? And that, I don't care which package you're on with us. I don't care if we're doing advanced SEO work or not for you. That is something we physically cannot do. But if you really want to make it all encompassing, the About Us page is great. It's a great start because people do go to that page. Believe it or not, people go to the About Us page to see what the heck this business is all about. It's not a conversion page. It's a awareness page. And a chance for them to maybe engage a little bit if we're leveraging video. But if you're consistently putting that type of feel on every page they visit throughout your site, because all of the photos are not these chintzy, cheap stock imagery. And I don't say that from a negative thing. They're okay. Google's okay with them. We use good quality stock photos, not crap. But the consumer, if they've looked at 5 real estate websites, I promise you they've seen that stock photo somewhere because there's only so many of them. It's a different feel when you go to a site and you see Mickey's face all over it, or Mickey and the team all over it, right? Or Liz and Marie on all the pages in their purple and their orange and their smiles. You know, maybe we'll get Eric to smile if we can get him on a photo on his website. Can't even get him to smile right now. All right. So really start looking at every single one of your pages. And that really encompasses that credibility, that uniqueness to it. So questions. I do want to respect time. I know we're right at the just over the top of the hour here, but we'll give it a few minutes if anybody's got any questions. Nope. All right. I'm going to stop the recording.